Hi, I'm Deboki and this is Okie Dokie Boki, and today I am going to be talking about my reading goals for 2020. So I'm going to start off with just a quick recap of my 2019 goals, but historically I like to keep my reading goals very light and minimal, so this is not going to be very long. My first goal is that I was going to finish reading all of Jacqueline Carey's Kushil's Dart Terre d'Ange series. I had loved the first trilogy. I talked about this more in my 2019 reading highlights and lowlights video, so I'm not going to get super into it here. But basically I got through the third to last book in the series. I have only 2 out of 9 books left in the series, but I just really struggled with it, and I think I was still gonna do it. I was like, you know what, I set this goal, I've got 2 books left, but it turns out that life is too short to force yourself to read books that you're not in the mood for. So maybe at some point I will be in the mood for it, but last year was not that point. And even if I don't finish the series, I do still want to read more of Jacqueline Carey's books because I love so much about her writing that I'm hoping to find what I love about it in other books of hers. My other goal for 2019 was to read 1 new book a month and 1 older book a month. I just wanted to have a good mix of newly published reads and older reads. I don't know how this went because I didn't actually track how I did with this. I did feel like I had a good balance of new and old releases, but I think the fact that I don't feel like going back and seeing how well I did at this goal is probably a sign that I did not succeed at it. Okay, so my reading goals for 2020. I am actually going to set a concrete number of books that I want to read this year. I'm pretty happy with the amount of books I read last year. I think I read somewhere under 50, and I think last year was a year coming off of a number of years where I've just felt like my life is in flux. I feel like I've been saying that on my channel forever now. But yeah, there's just a lot of stuff in the past year or two where I moved a bunch of times, I had a bunch of stuff change kind of in my personal life, my professional life, and one of the things that's been hard in terms of adjustment is just making sure that as I don't know, my lifestyle changes, is making sure that I'm still setting aside time for reading. And the issue isn't, again, the number of books I've read. The issue is that I feel like sometimes when I've gotten stressed in the past year, my issue is that I end up doing things that don't actually make me happy. They're just easy to do. Kind of going down that Reddit hole of I don't know, reading about a bunch of drama and stuff like that. Things that are fun in the moment, but that in the long run, I'm always kind of why did I do that, you know? And so that's come at the expense of me getting to read a bunch of things that I wanted to read last year. It's come at the expense of me getting to watch some TV that I've wanted to watch. So this year for books, I've decided to set a numbers goal that I'm not really expecting to meet. And so my goal for the year is to read 100 books. I don't actually care about reading 100 books. What I really care about is in those moments where I am tempted to engage in some really stupid bullshit on the internet, to instead be hey, what if you read a book instead? You know, you've got this goal. What if you tried to reach it? My second goal is actually just some bookkeeping stuff, and this is actually me revoking a goal that I had succeeded at in a previous year, maybe one of my first years on BookTube, where I had decided that I was going to give up on Goodreads because I don't like it. I don't like the app. I don't like feeling, I don't know, my reading is so public. I don't like feeling like I need to leave reviews, and some of that stuff is imagined. I don't actually need to leave reviews on Goodreads if I don't want to, and I'm talking about books on BookTube anyways. What does it matter if I have stuff on my Goodreads? I don't think anyone's following that closely. And the things that aren't imagined, the fact that I hate the way that the app looks, whatever, what are you gonna do? But I do kind of miss having that central, I don't know, composite list of everything that I've read for all time. I actually was thinking about this when I was doing the 10-year book challenge tag, where I was man, this Goodreads account is actually pretty handy right now because I have all of these books here that I forgot that I read. So in the past few years when I haven't been using Goodreads, I've actually kept pretty good notes in my notebook of everything that I've read. So I actually have a log of everything, but I want to put everything back into Goodreads. I want to log what I'm reading this year in Goodreads. The catch is that I am not going to follow anyone. I'm not going to be friends with anyone. So if you follow me or friend me or anything and you don't get any response, it's not on you. It's just that I want to be able to just use the infrastructure of Goodreads without having to treat it like a social networking site, just because for me, BookTube and Twitter and Instagram are where I socialize about books. Goodreads, I want to use strictly for record keeping. And my last goal is a goal that I am not sure I should actually put in this video, but I'm gonna put it in here anyways because I want to hold myself accountable. So like at the end of the year or the beginning of next year when I'm making my 2021 reading goals video and I'm talking about whether or not I succeeded at my goals for 2020, I want to force myself to acknowledge that I have set this goal. So this is a thing that I will be asking for your guys' help on, but a thing that I really want to do this year is I want to do some kind of science book club on BookTube / Twitter, Instagram, or maybe newsletter sort of thing. I'm kind of figuring out how I want it to work, but the basic idea will basically be every few months, yeah, we're if you're interested, you'll read a science book that we're gonna decide on and then talk about it and talk about the science, talk about how it's written, talk about how it applies to various things in life and all of that good stuff, all the stuff that I think science and science writing is good for. So the thing that I will ask is that if there is a science book that you have been really, really wanting to read, a popular science book of any subject, any type, if there's one that you've been really, really wanting to read and you just haven't gotten to yet, maybe you just haven't set aside the time for it, or you just aren't quite sure if it's right for you, or you're a little bit intimidated or whatever, if you can leave the name of that book down below, that would be super awesome. I'm setting this goal and shamelessly asking for your guys' input and ideas for a few reasons. One is that I just want to up the number of science books I'm reading this year. Another one is that I think it's a lot of fun. One of my favorite reviews I've done on this channel was my review of Bad Blood, which was about Theranos, and I got to talk a lot about the bioengineering science side of that stuff. And so that was a lot of fun for me to do as a review, and I want to be able to do more videos like that, but on a wider range of subjects. I also want your guys' input because if it's just up to me to pick out what science books I read, I'm probably gonna get kind of stuck in the certain, I don't know, areas of science that I tend to be most interested in, and I think it's so much cooler to get to learn about so much other stuff. And it's especially cool to be able to talk about it with other people. I think science is best done as a group conversation where you don't just absorb something that someone's saying, but you get to ask questions and parse through the things that you don't understand. I think the best scientists I know are all people who are just constantly asking things. So that's the thing that I'm trying to figure out how to kind of do best in this science book club idea that I have. So hopefully I will figure out how to do that. And so yeah, if you guys have ideas for that, ideas for books and anything like that, I would super love and appreciate all of that. So thank you guys for watching. Those are my reading goals for 2020. And yeah, bye.